What is up, Rad Potential YouTube, and welcome to today's rad video. It's not really a rad formational video, although we're doing some cool stuff. Y'all should recognize this man.
Back in town.
It's good old Calvin. We have a motor. It's currently late at night, and we're gonna take this apart because that's what you do when you're a car guy and it's late at night and you don't want to go to bed. So this is a like early 13B 4-port. So this is the engine that originally came in my Rotary truck. So when I bought the truck from Louisiana, the guy down there, it ran and drove-ish. And upon getting it home, driving it, whatever, it was smoking real bad. Oil control ring had failed. So we're gonna go ahead and tear it down. But it has been sitting under my workbench, filled full of 2-stroke oil and stuff for probably, what, 4 years now? 3 years, I would say.
Since you've been here.
So since I moved down here, and before that it sat in my parents' garage. So Calvin knows his way around a Rotary engine a little bit, but this is kind of by design so we can familiarize him with it, because the next video at the Rad Ranch, Calvin is acquiring a super awesome project that is going to require an engine being put together. So we're probably going to see about
a lot more than an engine.
Yeah, but we're going to see about having Calvin maybe try to put it together. So we're going to go ahead and start stripping this down. So enjoy the time lapse, and we will catch back in if we find an issue. So let's go. Alright, our first rad formational drop of knowledge right here. On the back of this big nut, you can see there's a washer that has been smashed down to retain this nut from spinning off. Normally, you will not find one of those on the back of one of these engines. However, I do think this is a Mazda reman, so maybe they put this on here. If you try to just take this nut off without hammering this washer out of the way, it's a major pain. Ask me how I know. I've done it before and then realized the washer was there. So the socket's so big it does kind of fit on there. For those who have never torn a Rotary engine down, this is a 2 1/8 socket. Fortunately, mine is 1/2-inch drive and 6-bolt. Some of them are 12-point. It's also a 54 millimeter, I think. Pretty sure it's 54. This is what fits on here. It'll still fit over the washer, so notice that. It will take some substantial ugga-duggas. Once you get this loose, give the flywheel a big whop with a hammer, like right out here, it'll pop it right off. Alright, so another fun fact about these motors. When the front hub pulley, or the hub right here, this piece, is put onto your engine, okay, that keyway, all the eccentric shafts for like the years and makes of that engine, so like for this, the old school 13Bs, are the same. However, the location of the 4 bolt holes in here that hold these pulleys on is not the same. So you will have to make sure to keep the pulley with the hub. Most of the time, sometimes they're riveted on. You can see this one's riveted on, but if you get one that's off, you will need to verify top dead center. And if you look above my shoulder over here, there's a video to link on how to do that. Another rad formational tip. Alright, so another thing that's important, you're going to see here the order of these. Just keep that in mind when you're taking stuff apart. This right here is your distributor and your oil metering pump drive gear. Notice the chamfer side goes towards the engine, just like that. If you put this on backwards, it's only like nominally 3 to 5 degrees of timing change, just to keep that in your mind. But if you do that, you will randomly stab a distributor a bunch of times until you figure out why this is not working. Fun fact. Alright guys, so we're currently finished tearing this down. What'd that take, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Not even, barely enough time to break a sweat and get the floor dirty. So, there's your front iron. Calvin's a little dirty, but his pants survived.
They're work pants.
So
I can wear shorts to work.
Alright, so the engine itself is honestly in super awesome condition. I was worried a lot about the housings being a little chattered up. So look in here, you can see that's just some surface stuff from sitting. Coming around the exhaust port, real good. Right here, we've got a little bit of chrome flake. Not too much going up this side at all, and by that I mean zero. And you can see kind of the chatter marks in there, but it's really not that bad. Alright, so we got the rear housing cleaned off, and it looks honestly perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of chrome flake in here, but that's not bad at all. The one place to worry about chrome flake, and here's my 2-cent tip. If you have chrome flake up here on the intake and in your compression stroke, you're going to lose compression where it matters most. If you have chrome flake down here or by your exhaust, doesn't really matter that it's not making compression because it's just pushing air out. However, you will see some irregular wear on your apex seals, or it may rip the rest of all the chrome off. But you know, that's a risk I'm willing to take. So I'm going to reuse these housings when I put this motor back together. I'm not going to reuse the irons despite them being in super awesome condition, because I have a set of Bridgeport irons up here on the stack on my rack of parts over here, and I want to build a half bridge motor out of this because it's just going to be NA, just going to have my Delorto carburetor on it. It's got to have that gnarly sound like my silver car does. Right up here if you want to hear it. And yeah, I'm going to save these mint plates for something else. If we ever decide to restore the truck back to original, which will never happen, we at least have the plates. So Bridgeport plates are chilling up here, and these are like super gnarly bridge, to say the least. It's gonna party. So the rotors pretty much mint. Bearings, there's some copper showing on them. Stationary gear bearings, let's look. Stationary gear bearings have some copper showing. So this is going to need some bearings put in it, which that's fine. We noticed with all the apex seals, you're going to see just how thin these are height wise. But also, even this one right here, if it'll focus, not on my hand, you can see the corner of that's chipped off. So it was due time for this thing to get a rebuild. The tips are a little wore. All the other seals looked perfect. We didn't look really to see if any of the oil control rings had a noticeable break in them, but not really a big deal. We're going to replace it all when we go back together. So with that, we now have a ton of cleaning to do, or at least I do. Calvin's motor is mostly clean for his truck, and we're going to put this thing in my filing cabinet of engines over here. So Calvin, what do you think? Second rotary engine teardown at the Rad Ranch.
I think it's got good potential. Definitely going to make some noise with this one.
So pumped. So Calvin's like muscle car, piston engine. Chevelle, he understands all of it. Chevelle guy. He's got what, 2 of them now?
Yeah, had 3 but sold one.
66 Chevelle. Got a 2-door. Some awesome stuff. Trying to talk him in to get down here so we can finish it. But you know, got projects and stuff before that. Getting him into a rotary car in the next video, or at least we'll leave it at rotary, the powered vehicle.
Probably the baddest rotary vehicle.
It's arguably gonna be the coolest one.
No man.
But it's pretty sweet. So with that, thanks for watching. Comment below with any questions about tearing motors down, anything you have. There's a ton of good stuff on the channel. If you go back through the other videos with tearing engines down, I'll link the playlist at the end here. And yeah, we'll cue in. If we've already built the engine by now, the link to the built engine will be above, and we'll catch you next time. Keep it rad.
Have a good one.
Alright, so if you made it to the end of the video and you're catching this, we just found this very interesting thing on this engine. Normally, your water temp sensor is right here, but you can't see that because of the light. It's right here on the rear iron, right there. Now, we discovered there's a water temp sensor on the front iron. At first I thought it was like going in the oil galley. However, flip this up. That's definitely sensing water temperature. So, if you made it this far and you watched the whole thing, comment below if you've ever seen a water temp sensor in the front iron. Peace.